situation, beef, argument, disagreement, however you want to say it, that has kind of popped up on my feed is it's kind of resolved, kind of not. It is Mos Def and Drake. So Mos Def and Drake have kind of been going back and forth for the last week or so. I don't necessarily know. It seems like there was some kind of hidden animosity between the two of these going on for years, maybe below the surface that people didn't really know about. And it seemed to kind of bubble up, which happens a lot in music. People feel some type of way about other artists and don't really say it until, they get the platform that they feel comfortable enough to say it. And that's exactly what Mos Def did. He got on an interview, he got on a podcast platform, and he basically said Drake is not hip hop. So let's check that out. Yasin B.
Like, is Drake hip hop?
Why are you doing this to me?
I know.
Drake is
Because we're here
pop.
for truth. We're here for
Drake
truth.
Drake is pop to me.
Right, that's fair. In the sense that it's charting like pop music, popular music.
In the sense, like, if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song.
All right, he dropping bombs already. Drake is pop in the sense that if I heard Drake in Target, it would hit.
So it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping.
So Drake's music is compatible with shopping. He's shopping music. Like, he's elevator music. He's type of music that you can throw on in the background and it's inconsequential. Is essentially what he's relegating it to.
Commercial music.
Or it's
Commercial music, yeah.
shopping with an edge.
Derivative.
That's basically what it's saying. It's derivative. It's shopping with an edge. It's commercial music that can just come and go.
In certain instances. Or...
Fair. I like Drake's music, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
Of course, I mean, I
it's
get
commercial, entertaining, fun, good,
it's
formulaic music.
It's likable.
Likable music,
Likeable music. Okay, that's a way to say it.
But is it? I'm gonna leave you alone. We're gonna move on.
He knew what he was doing, bro. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew how this would be taken. Like, that's something he had on his chest for a while. He had to get that off. And the truth is, that's how a lot of like these hip hop dudes feel about Drake. 1,000%, especially the ones who are known lyricists who respect the craft of like barring up and actually rapping and spitting and like whatnot. Like, they feel that same exact way about Drake. He just said it. He said the quiet part out loud that a lot of these dudes think. So I'm not surprised that Mos Def had this had this feeling and this thought about Drake's music at all. Like, I don't really know I know a lot of people got kind of upset about this, especially Drake fans, but like, how do you expect to do like Mos Def, Yasin Bey to feel about somebody's music like Drake? Have you heard Mos Def's music? Like, of course he's not gonna like it. Of course not like is one thing. Of course he's not gonna resonate with it at the level that a lot of the major mainstream populace would. This is to be expected.
So many products. So
many SKUs.
So many SKUs. Look at all these SKUs. Oh, so many products.
So much merchandising. So many barcodes.
I love this mall. Look at.
Oh Nah, see, I thought he was gonna stop. I thought that was the end of it, but nah, he had that. It was just boiling. It was bubbling inside. It was just like bile that he had to get out once. And once again, it's like when you had too much to drink, the truth starts to come out. Let's say you get sick, get a little hungover, you gotta throw up, get it out of your system. But once you start, you can't stop. You can't stop. It's going to keep coming, and until you fully expel all that bad energy, that bad shit out of you, you got to get it out. And now he's just in his bag. Like, he went from past, let me just dip a toe in, see what the water's like, to nah, cannonball. Yeah.
Look at this place. I mean, look at this place. They have everything. Everything's here. They have everything here. Ah, this is great. This is a new Drake. You hear it? It's great. Okay. What happens when this thing collapses?
Yeah, all right, bro. So many skills. So many skills. I'm using that. I'm still in that line. I'm absolutely going to use that when I hear just kind of poppy, mainstream bullshit music coming out of so-called rappers. So many skills. They have everything. All right, he was definitely in his bag, and then he's going to continue getting his bag, but he's going to hop off of Drake, pause. But he's going to get into a little deeper messaging here.
This is the thing that we're talking about. It's like nobody wants to talk about. It's like, what happens when the columns start buckling? Are we not in some early stage of that at this present hour? Are we seeing like the collapse of the empire? Buying and selling. Where's the message that I can use?
Right.
You know, what's in it for your audience apart from being like banging the pom-poms?
So then, obviously, he kind of tried to clean it up a little bit and kind of speak about it from a more existential viewpoint, as in our culture in general is just bullshit and commercial, and what happens when, you know, capitalism decays and falls away. What's left? What's the meaning behind the music when there is no longer this overarching aspect of capitalism that is ruling everything? Now, I don't think it's going to fall anytime soon. I think there's definitely cracks showing, but this is him kind of trying to express, trying to kind of temper a little bit of what he just did and went in. But obviously the damage was done. Drake had his feelings and he said what he said. Let's see how Drake responded to one Yazin Bey Mos Def in his own comments. So here's what he had to say in response to Mos Def calling his music pop, and it's and being compatible, saying, all right. Saying in hip hop to say another artist's music is basically compatible for shopping, from a like hip hop head's perspective, it cuts deep. It cuts a lot deeper than just saying your music is pop. It's saying your music is bullshit, or like can be played in Target for middle-aged white women. And that cuts much deeper than just saying, yo, your music is pop. But in response, of course, Drake is going to respond, going to hear everything, going to see everything. He's been very busy in responding to a lot of people in his music over the last couple of years. So without a doubt, he was going to respond to this one. Drake shared a post on the Instagram story in response to Yazin Bey's recent comments about Drake not being totally hip hop, which can be so. Here it goes. Hip hop is a culture. Oh, so he shared a clip and it's Method Man in an interview, and it's hip hop is culture. It's a way of life, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you walk, breakdancing, rhyme, stage show. And then he also addressed him in the post by writing, what Umi say again? Let me shine my light, King. Don't change up now. So basically what he was saying is say it with your chest. Say it to me when you see me in person, not on podcasts, chatting, as he likes to say. Shine your light, don't change up on me, or don't change up on me now. Is him specifically saying, you weren't saying that when you were seeing me in person? Why all these dudes got these feelings about me now and expressing it, but when they see me in person, they're not feeling and expressing it in the same manner? Which he does have a point. Because if this is truly how you feel about his music, then don't act cool to him in person. Like I'm obviously not there, and I can't specifically say that they had interactions where he didn't keep this same energy, but that definitely seems to be what Drake was alluding to here. And Drake's street comments is a response to Yasin Bey's 1990 song. Uma says, where he raps, my Umi said, shine your light on the world, shine your light for the world to see. And they both have a point. While I don't fully agree with the sentiment that Drake is strictly pop and not hip hop, because hip hop is such a wide encompassing genre and lifestyle and culture, there's always been super poppy elements, and hip hop is pop nowadays. It's literally the popular culture of the world at this moment. So like, of course it's pop. So I can't fully say he isn't hip hop. He's hip hop. Of course he's hip hop. He is just a different version of hip hop that obviously people like Mos Def love and grew up on and respect and revere and want to see kind of continue in the mainstream. But that form of hip hop is no longer the leading form of hip hop. And you can't really blame Drake for that. There's always been elements of pop. There's always been elements of kind of trying to appeal to the masses. You can go back decades, even the earliest iterations of hip hop, and find it. Just the fact that it's the form that people seem to be resonating with and seems to be winning the most these days does not make it any less hip hop. But I do agree that a lot of his music does feel kind of inconsequential, especially these days. It doesn't feel like there's much substance behind it. And for somebody who's supposed to be the best hip hop guy, you would expect to see some type of hip hop true substance to it, because hip hop is about authenticity and obviously everything else that comes with it. It would be nice to get more meaningful, I guess, lasting music. And even though it probably doesn't feel meaningful to me and a lot of other people, like Mos Def and whatever, there is an audience that does find it meaningful. It just means that it's not meaningful for us. So I can see where he's coming from and why he's saying what he said. But also, he just wanted to get some shit off, and he had to fire on Drake, and he did. But Drake also did not stop there. He also had some more choice words to say for one Mos Def.
Drake is calling Mos Def a crackhead.
That's just funny to me, yo.
Oh my god!
But that's the actual quote.
No, he called him
a bohemian bucket.
Yeah, and he said that in Toronto slang, that's calling him like a crackhead.
Yo, what? A bohemian bucket, my nigga. That's funny.
That shit funny.
That's funny. It's funny. That's
All right, Bohemian Bucket is absolutely hilarious. I can't lie. Like, Drake is petty as all hell. We always know that. And like, for him to pull out, instead of coming directly and calling him a crackhead, calling him a bohemian bucket, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I know niggas don't want to laugh because it's Mos Def. That's just funny, bro. I don't
Mos
care.
Def fan, but that's funny.
That's funny.
A bohemian bucket. Is
That's funny. It's hilarious. Leave that nigga alone, man. And he probably said it with an accent.
I want to hate, but then
And he posted a picture with a mic up.
Saying what?
Oh yeah, in a hotel room type of vibe. So.
He said niggas forgot where it started at. Uh-oh.
And that part.
Oh, somebody about to.
Oh, I ain't see that. Drake posted something with a mic in a hotel room. You know what those means? That typically means like one of those 6 a.m. in Toronto, 1 and 5 a.m.s. He said one of those vibe type songs where he gets some shit off. If this makes Drake rap, I'm all for it. Do this shit again, Mos.
To get in trouble now.
And that part.
Yeah, 6
I always want to hate on those
Antonio.
rich responses, but then I just maybe it'll just sound fly as a rich person saying it. So I understand it. Like,
What you mean?
Like, just like saying he a bum.
That's not a rich person response.
You got to be rich to call somebody a bum.
No, you don't. We've been
You
calling
not,
niggas
nigga.
bums when we was
Niggas
12.
be bummy, nigga. Yeah.
You was calling niggas bums now,
In
nigga.
the
When
hip
he
hop.
said,
You gotta
when
be rich
he
to call
says
Most Def a
it,
bum.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You got to be rich
If
to
you
be able
call
to
Most
call.
Def a bum,
Because
you
he be
better
wearing
be
some, he be wearing some hippie shit, but it's like
shit
some
is-
nice
Most have that
hippie
shit on.
That
Yeah.
nigga puts on all that. What's that Rick Owens shit?
No,
he
most
goes
dresses.
crazy,
Most dresses.
and he know it. Drake knows. So to be able to call that nigga a bum, you just got to be a different type.
a
of
bohemian
Did y'all see
bucket,
did
nigga.
y'all see the clip of Most Def singing? Well,
Yeah, at Fashion Week.
yeah.
And they tried to kill him.
What you think about it?
I've seen Most perform up here. I've seen the show. So, I mean, I didn't think none of it. And I know that he dresses, too.
I'm talking about for that type of music that he was doing. That wasn't real hip hop Most Def right there.
Why not?
He was like singing. It almost
but
sounded
he's
like
been
he sings.
singing.
He's basically
He always sings.
Umi
But-
is
but what I'm
100%.
saying-
He might sing
Well, the-
more. No, in his
the
live show, he
panties.
might sing more than he raps.
half of Black
Okay.
and Bold's not half, but there's several singing songs on Black and Bold.
Yeah, that's what he does.
okay.
I see where Ice is going.
Well, then let him get it out.
I'm
Let him
just-
walk the dog.
So now you criticized Drake for not taking a real hip hop approach.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
That's like super elementary
Thinking.
view of what he
Yeah.
said in that conversation.
I know it was more
He
after
said he
that.
makes music that sounds good in tar-
All right, I'm done with this whole conversation. But basically, yeah. So Drake continued to call them a bohemian bucket, which is hilarious. I'm gonna steal that as well. Basically calling him a bum and a crackhead. But obviously that's jokes because most is, he might not look as like he might not wear Gucci, Louis, and like a lot of these other artists and try to like flash and stun on everybody. But he is far from a crackhead and a bum. But it's a funny insult. It's definitely hilarious. But again, this got cleared up even more. Most Def had one more response, I think, as of today or maybe yesterday, where he kind of cleared up his statements and tried to kind of like clean things up a bit. So let's watch that as well.
Peace, peace, human beings. Good Monday. Happy Monday. Peace, peace. Peace. What's happening?
So he did this on his live.
All right. Greetings, human beings. Got some things on my mind I want to share. Sorry, starting. Man, y'all love conflict.
He's talking about Drake. We've already talked about, talk about Drake, talk about Drake, talk about Drake.
Listen, let's get a grace index going on, people. What are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for today? I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful for life, for the trials and the triumphs. I was able to rest when I was weary, eat when I was hungry, drink when I was thirsty. To be aware, that's right, Kate.
All right. I know there's other outlets that have already kind of chopped it up and got to the sigil bits. So let's get to those. Mm-mm. Yes, here it is. All right.
speak to me directly, you can at any point. I reached out to Chappelle, asked him to reach out to you. I DM'd you. You are a very talented MC. But for me, I require more of myself and others than just talent or charm or charisma, particularly in times of urgent crisis. And what I would like to see in terms of creators or creative people in the world as it relates to our culture is for people to connect with us beyond the jukebox or the dance floor. You know, a fair weather friend can hardly be called a friend at all. Drake, if you would like to speak to me directly, you can at any point. I reached out to Chappelle, asked him to reach out to you. I DM'd you. You are a very talented MC. But for me, I require more of myself and others than just talent or charm or charisma, particularly in times of urgent crisis. And what I would like to see in terms of creators or creative people in the world as it relates to our culture is for people to connect with us beyond the jukebox or the dance floor. You know, a fair weather friend can hardly be called a friend at all. Drake, if you would like to speak to me directly.
Okay, so basically what he's saying is, for me, from a personal preference or aspect, what I was trying to say, which, let's be honest, he said what he wanted to say. Now he's kind of cleaning it up a bit, but what he's saying is, for me and my personal taste and preference, you don't give me enough substance. And what I would like to hear from my hip hop artists who are considered the top of the top, and Drake is definitely considered the top of the top, so he's holding him to a higher standard, is that he would like him to show a little bit more thoughtfulness, a little bit more substance, a little bit more meaning outside of just music that you can dance to. Which, you know, it is a perspective. It doesn't mean it's the correct perspective, but it is a perspective. And I don't think it's one that you should have to or should hold to each and every individual artist, because that's the whole point of art, is that people deliver art in their own meaningful way. There are a lot of artists out there delivering what he wants to deliver, but I know that they're not at the top of the game. And that's probably what irks him the most. Go to the next slide. All right, so I mean, that's enough drama. So that's basically the gist of it all. Most Def, very reviewed hip hop head, hip hop MC, one of them, considered definitely one of the greatest modern lyricists out there today. Said that Drake is pop. He's not hip hop, he's pop. And that stirred up a hornet's nest and a bee's nest, and all the Drake stands and fans came out of the woodworks. Drake responded, called him a bohemian bucket, which is hilarious. And then he also responded back and kind of cleared things up. Overall, it was just two people with differing opinions. When something like this comes out on a podcast form or interview form, where you not actually addressing this with the person himself, he has every right to respond in the way that Drake did, because if you really have this issue with me and you probably know me or have some type of connection to me or people that I know, express this to me in person. And if you would express it to me in person and then said this, the response probably would have been a little different. It would probably been, you know, accepted in a manner. But in this very quick form media world that we live in, things get said and they get disseminated to the masses instantly. So like, of course you're going to feel some type of way about it. Like, why are you like putting this message out about me and this image about me that I'm not hip hop, when of course Drake feels like he's hip hop, and of course Drake is hip hop. He's just a more mainstream form of hip hop than most Def is looking for. And if Drake wasn't considered like the number one guy in hip hop and almost music in general these days, I don't think most would have this opinion. If his guys and his artists and his messaging was out there at the level that he wished it was out there, he wouldn't have anything to say about Drake. That's basically what it comes down to. he was probably irked about people kind of praising Drake so much and like putting him on this pedestal when in his mind he's not really delivering anything of substance. And that's basically what it boiled down to. And it was just a whole kind of just whole lot of nothing, but it was a funny little back and forth. We got, you know, so many skews. Great shopping music, like just so many great gems from this Bohemian bucket, like, you know. So I don't know. You guys let us know. Let me know what you which side of this kind of argument are you on? I'm not either or. I understand both's perspective. I think most could have handled this in a different way, even though he did give me some very funny shit to say and keep in my back pocket. And you know, it was pretty much harmless. But yeah, do you agree with Drake? Do you agree with most? Is Drake hip hop? Is he pop? Whatever. Like, let me know what you feel about this whole situation in the comments down below.